Hello. Welcome back. We are here once more to play Beowulf, squatting on the Pigeon Killers channel without any pigeon killers, like some kind of filthy squatters or pigeons would be equally appropriate. I am Nick. I have once again going to be Viking about in the form of Åsbjorn Skál. You might recognize me from the same thing last week, or a bunch of stuff before then. If not, hi, nice to meet you. GMing today, magnificently as always, will be Shweta.
Hello, everyone. So I don't like talking much. So let's go to the recap. Last time, we introduced our hero, who saved a child from a brown one and returned to his lord when he was offered the opportunity to go get a ship and go out into the world and do some more saving for other people. And so there was a call for help from sanctuary, the Hermit's Island, and so our hero set off in search for adventure, went there and spoke to a couple of these people and got a lot of mixed accounts, among which he knows now that there were 3 people who died. There's these 2 pilgrims who came to pray with the hermit, and they passed away one after the other because the monster took them. And then there was a monk who came in a ship, and he passed away when the monster took him. And as they were returning to the ship, the hero and his warriors were returning to the ship at night, we found out that the monster is real. The monster is very much real. Giant, large monster chasing one of the hero's crew members. And our hero bravely got its attention, and the monster ran towards them, saw the hermit sanctuary, all the good people or food that was there, and made its way down there and broke through as our hero was trying to save everybody and get them to the other side of the wall, get them far away to safety, broke through the wall. We will start immediately from there. So you see on the map, you will see the monster has broken through the doorway that it couldn't fit through. The doorway is made of all these bricks and it's under repair, in fact. And he broke through easily and comes running forward. He sees Elfnot, who is a provisioner, and comes rushing towards Elfnot. Elfnot falls back and looks terrified of this monster. This monster is basically very scary to look at. It looks completely white in the light of the sanctuary right now. Its skin completely changed now. There are weapons sticking out of its back, and it has these giant tusks coming out of its mouth. And Elfnot falls back and looks terrified, paralyzed for a moment, and then digs through his bag everything that he could find around him and starts throwing things, throwing rocks and throwing anything that he can at the monster, when suddenly he comes across something that he's about to throw. The monster takes a look at it. Our hero needs to make a perception roll.
All right.
Just a straight perception, yes.
Beautiful. Dice. It's a 19.
19. You see what looks like a very intricate amulet, like this round disc. I'm putting it up on the VTT. You'll be able to see it right next to the map. I'm bringing it close here. You see this intricately designed round disc in his hand, and when he realizes that this monster has stopped in its tracks, the monster looks terrified. Elfnot kind of pushes it in front of his face and holds it up and starts standing up gingerly and holds it. At the same time, The monster, seeing this symbol, terrified, starts to back away slowly. 1 foot, and then the other, and then the other, and begins to turn to run away when Edgar, the boy that you spoke to previously, says, "That's right, run away!" and throws this big, like this sword that he has in his hand, throws it at him, and you see that the sword does pierce the skin of the monster and actually does not stick to his back like the others have. And the monster makes his way out. Everybody around Elfnoth and Edgar are kind of petrified to see the monster and to see what is happening. Elfnoth continues to stand holding his hand like this, his hands shaking in fear. What do you do after you see this whole scene?
I am going to come over to Edgar and Elfnoth. I'm going to pat Edgar on the shoulder and say, antagonizing it was perhaps not the wisest thing you could have done, but it was very brave, young man.
Edgar, coming kind of off his little heroic adrenaline rush, says, "He was going to kill one of us, of course. We needed to fight it. We need to go fight it now." And he takes a step forward to do just that.
Do you have another sword? I would not recommend trying punching it.
He just looks confused for a second and he backs away. By that point, his mother comes rushing forward and she holds both of his shoulders in her hands and she says, "Don't worry about this one. I'll keep a hold of him."
Thank you. And Elfnoth, what is that symbol that you are bearing?
You see Elfnoth still kind of in that position, holding out the symbol. Turn to you. What? And he looks at the symbol and looks back at you. This is nothing. This is nothing. And he just starts putting it back into his bag. At which point Caro moves a little ahead and she says, "Isn't that the Hermits?" Elfnoth says, "You know not what you've seen." I'll say at this point, Egbert is still making his way back around. He knows what has happened in terms of the monster running away, but he's on the other side of the wall, so he's slowly making his way back. What are you doing? What are Hala and Halfdan doing?
I'm going to call to Halfdan and Hala to help Egbert back over this way, just because we don't know how far the monster has gone. It's still pretty dark.
Right.
And just as I see Elfnoth going to put the symbol away, I'm going to try and quickly stride over to him and just gently but firmly grab the arm that the symbol is in and make sure that just prevent him from throwing it away, putting it in his bag.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one of the missing holy icons that you were so certain the pilgrims had stolen by any chance?
Elfnoth, who's just coming out of this panic and this fear, looks at you. He says, "What? The pilgrim? This is..." he looks at the symbol again. As he was trying to put it back in his bag, you stopped him. This is the Hermits. I don't know how I got a hold of it. It must have gotten into my bag by mistake.
A very fortunate mistake, but perhaps we should check through your belongings to make sure no other similar mishaps have happened that could be pinned upon the innocent dead.
Check through my belongings? That's certainly not needed.
Well, I beg to differ. It would be more comfortable with your consent, but it is absolutely necessary.
Caro gently moves forward and says, "Yes, Elfnoth. I mean, you were so sure about the pilgrims." Edgar sort of follows, still looking in the direction where the monster ran. But Caro has a grip on him that she's not releasing. Caro says, I think it's all right if we look through your belongings. We could ask the hermit. I mean, it is his things that we saw in your bag. And Elfnot says, things. There's just this one. And Caro sort of gently moves forward and reaches over into the bag and pulls out another item that looks like another sort of artifact with similar markings as this amulet. I think he's right. And she points to you. It's time we all sit together and explore what's in your bag.
Yes, this will happen, Elfnoth. The good news! You were wanting me to take you back to my meat hole when I left the island? That will definitely happen. If you have been stealing from your hosts, you must stand justice in front of the Jarl.
Elfnot is like shaking at this point. We have all just seen a monster stand among us, and I, fortunately, was able to rescue all of us. And this is how you want to repay me. At this point, I will say the hermit does make his way towards the gate, and he's privy to some of the conversation that has been taking place. Sorry, you were saying.
No worries. Yeah, I was just going to step up to Elfnoth and say, it could be argued that your acts of theft are what put the Hermitage in danger in the first place. There are a few important differences between myself and that monster, which will be dealt with. Firstly, you cannot scare me off with a holy symbol. And secondly, I am right here in front of you. Still.
He looks at you. Why would I want to scare you off? I have done nothing wrong.
Then you will not mind us searching your possessions and finding the other missing artifacts.
Caro says, we've already found two. And by this point, she found a second one, yeah. And by this point, these guys, I'll say, approach. And the hermit, who's been able to hear the conversation, says, let's all settle inside. Make sure well, I doubt it will return again. But let's all settle inside. Make sure everyone who's outside is indoors now. And then we will talk.
Well, with your permission, I would like Halfdan to keep watch over the gate with one of the holy artifacts, should it return. And I would like Hala to return to my crew with the other to make sure they are safe on the beach.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
He's asking if Egbert would be okay with Halfdan standing watch at the gateway here with one of the holy artifacts in case the troll comes back, and for Hala to take the other to the beach to make sure my crew's safe overnight.
Yeah. So Egbert nods quietly. He doesn't say much, he just nods, and he says, we will follow what you have planned, and starts walking indoors. So we'll say Halfdan is standing with the amulet, while Hala has a little artifact of her own in her hand. We will move her out of this map for now and position everyone back into the doors.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You see, as everyone steps inside and takes their seats on these like little benches and planks and all of that, Edgar is still breathing fast and looking out the door, while Fridka is gently holding on to Egbert and just watching over him. Cairo is keeping close watch on Edgar as well. And Elfnoth is sitting, staring into the fire. For some time, nobody says anything. Do you break the silence?
Yes. I'm going to say, Egbert, it is yourself who this man was trying to steal from, so I will ask your permission. But once we have dealt with the troll, I would like to take this man as my prisoner back to Jarl Alfred, so that he may see justice for the crimes he has attempted to commit against your person.
Egbert, if you remember, the last time you spoke to him was a little hesitant, especially when it came talk about the missing items. And he sort of stares into the fire slightly. You remember that people have said that his mind is gone. And he doesn't talk for a while. And it seems like he's not going to say anything until finally he sort of puts his hands together in a sort of prayer and says, Elfnoth, how could I be the protector of such treasures and not notice their absence? I always knew that they were not there. I was always giving you an opportunity to return them. And Elfnoth, who right until this point was denying, looks up at Egbert and he says, kind of quietly, I'm sorry. And Egbert says, and you were going to take from this island the one thing that could protect us. Elfnoth just says, I'm sorry. All of us here would have been defenseless without it. It is written onto the stones that this is what will save us. And you have seen the stones, and so have I. Elfnoth just replies, I'm just very sorry. And Egbert seems quite sharp at this moment, but he sort of relents with the third apology from Elfnoth. And he says, I have always wanted to let you come to me, tell the truth, and forgive you. You are one of us, you are among us, and I've always thought that you deserve to stay, but after today, I don't know. And he turns to you, says, you are much younger than I am, for sure. I am supposed to be wise and make these decisions with ease, but I don't know what to do. What would you have me do?
I would say that, in my opinion, there is a difference between somebody who repents because they feel they have done wrong and wish to make amends, and somebody who says sorry because they were caught and they wish to escape punishment. It is clear that Elfnoth is in the latter, not the former. I would not show him any clemency or any mercy. He did not turn himself in. He did not try to make amends until his crimes were exposed. I do not believe that he would act any differently in future.
The hermit sort of straightens a little. Is that true, Elfnoth? Are you only sorry because you will be punished? And Elfnoth looks like he's not going to reply because it takes a moment for him to talk. And he says, he looks at his hands and he is holding his bag in his hands and he just sort of puts it forward and keeps it on the ground. You can take a look at everything I have taken. You can punish me how you see fit. I was hoping to leave with a ship, but my ship was broken down. I couldn't leave, and it has come to this day. If my ship weren't broken down, if I had gone that day, then today all of you would be dead. All of you. And he looks at you kind of reproached, like he looks at you with tears in his eyes and he says, I understand my mistake. What you said isn't false, but I also do understand what I did wrong. What is your punishment? Will you kill me?
I am sworn loyal to Lord Alfred. These lands come under his jurisdiction, not mine. With Egbert's blessing, I will take you to Lord Alfred and he will decide your punishment. He is a just man and a fair man, but you will get the punishment you deserve.
And what if that punishment is death? Will you stop it?
If the punishment is death, then I will be very thankful for you that you confessed your sins and begged for forgiveness before that death came, so that your God may judge your soul to be clean and accept you to his heaven.
He kind of moves back slightly as he's sitting at the weight of what you said as it hits him. And you see he is completely paralyzed and quiet at this point. Egbert takes a deep sigh and says, Hero, Hridgar, look through the possessions and return what is mine to me. And he gets up and starts taking off for his private chambers. Caro and Hridgar look a little hesitant. Caro sits with Edgar, and Edgar finally, now his attention completely on what's happening in this room, says, he is trying his best to understand what's happening. He's just 2 years younger than you are, and you see him looking at you, the way that you're talking with authority, the way that people are listening to you and everything. You see him looking at you, and he sort of stands up in a manner and like says quietly to you, I am going to collect eggs in the morning. I think you should join me. Please?
Of course. It would be an honor to see more of this island and how you live. And I would feel much safer having such a strong, brave warrior by my side.
He looks pleased and like turns to Cairo, kind of giving her a smile, and Cairo just like indulges him in that, and he says, I'll be off to bed then, and takes off to his place. Cairo sort of starts patting Elfnot on the back and like gives him a sort of, tries to comfort him slightly as he continues to sit still, thinking about the weight of the words that you've told him, and Prithgar rummages through the items. That it will take some time. Do you continue to stay at this place, or do you make your way to the ship for the night?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Halfdan here with the amulet, and then I'm gonna go and check on my crew. As far as I remember, one of my crew people ran off into the darkness, so I'm gonna see if they made it back to the beach. Yeah. And just before I go, I'm going to give Alfnoth an almost deceptively friendly pat on the shoulder and say, "Do not be so glum. Your repentance is true, your God will see that in your heart. You will spend eternity feasting and drinking with your friends or whatever you people do. This is a good day for you."
Elfnoth kind of actually make a charisma roll in general.
No worries. Ooh, that was a 18.
18. So Elfnoth, who is in his own world at this moment, as you talk, comes out of his little stunned stance that he's taken, and looks at you, and as he hears the words, you see a little bit of the old Elfnoth that you spoke to come back. You see the little contempt in the way his lips curl, and he doesn't say anything. He just watches you with very dark look as you move across and leave the sanctuary. I will say you make your way back to the crew. Now, what are the crew doing? Hala has reached the crew, and she is Hala has come back to the crew, and she is sort of trying to she's sitting next to someone holding the artifact and sort of showing it to him. He's in complete tears. He's trying to not be so he's trying to get himself together while looking at the artifact and trying to feel a little safer as Hala is talking to him. A few other people nearby are trying to add to Hala's words. So if Hala is saying, don't worry, we have this now, nothing can happen to us, then people are trying to say please, she saw the monster run away, why would she lie, and that sort of thing. The rest of the crew, some are eating, some have, you don't see all your members there. I believe there are about 12 members in the crew, so you don't see all of them there. You see maybe 5 other than the ones who are talking to the one who was crying, and they are dancing along to what the Scop is singing. So there's a bit of a lightening of mood. And the Scop is the bard, and so there's a little bit of a mood lightening happening, and some people have gone to sleep, some people are eating, some people are dancing, and so it's a quiet but peaceful sort of atmosphere there.
Nice.
Do you do anything? Do you give any instructions, or do you just head off straight to bed?
I'm gonna check in with Froda, who is learned and knows much of history, legends, the ancients, and the old ways.
Olaf is back at...
Yeah, Olaf is still at the Hermitage. Froda's more in the kind of traditional myths and legends type learning. I'm gonna check in with Froda, see if he knows anything about trolls, about how they can be defeated, why Edgar's sword penetrated it when so many others have just got stuck in its back.
Mm-hmm.
And just see if he's got any useful information in that giant galaxy brain of his.
Just roll a d20 for him. It's a history check. Followers generally don't have stats, so it'll be a +0.
No worries. He does have... Hang on, let me double check his character sheet. He does have the Raven Mind trait, so he would make any intelligence checks with advantage.
Okay.
Beautiful. 2d20. Come on, Frodo. Alright, 18.
18. So I'll say Frodo thinks for a bit and says it's possible that the artifacts have something to do with that. Maybe they have weakened it in some way. Some power there. But creatures like these, and like you describe the creature and everything, I'm assuming, says the creatures like these have lived long. So these aren't the only people that have dealt with them. There must be some others who have. And we can find out if we walk around the island. Maybe some history is written around this island.
There are many runestones that I was planning to ask you to translate at first light. So, yes, let us get some sleep. We will investigate the runestones, keep an artifact with us. I think I will send the rest of the crew to the Hermitage and keep an artifact there. And, yes, we have found a criminal to bring back to justice. We will find a way to slay this monster. And together, we will write a good ending to the first chapter of the saga of Åsbjorn.
You have had a busy night and you've just got here.
Well, this is, I suppose, why they call it an adventure. I was hoping for something that would bring glory to my name, and finding a thief? Not bad. Slaying a troll. That is something to drink over once we get home, my friend.
Oh, we need to do our homework before we slay any trolls, but that is something that the Lord would like very much.
Well, with your mind and my abilities with the axe, between us, there is nothing on this island that will not fall before our combined might, my friend.
He grins very happily. I'd say all of you go to bed. The crew, some of them are up taking care, and some of them are asleep. Your warriors and everybody have taken a long rest. So if anybody was spent, then they are back to being useful again. The next day, you see you wake up, you take care of any needs that you have, and as you are eating, I would say, you see Edgar wanders onto the ship, the boy, and he looks very eagerly around the ship, and he says, "So you travel with all of these people?"
Yes, you need a strong crew to sail a ship, and you need many strong allies to go on adventures. No great person became great on their own.
Is everything yours? Is everybody listening to what you say?
These people will listen to what I advise, but I am sworn to a great man named Jarl Alfred, and it is acting on his authority with his ship more than anything that allows me to lead such great people.
Then I would act on the authority of the Hermit expert.
Very good.
And he looks around eagerly and he says, "There are people older than you here. Do they listen to you?"
They have listened to me so far. I think whether they continue to do so will depend on the quality of what I tell them, so hopefully the gods will grant me wisdom. But they are good, loyal people. They are a much better class of person than Elfnoth, for example.
Elfnoth. Oh. Nobody ever listens to me. How do you get people to listen to you?
Well, you must have the strength and the courage and the wisdom to show that you are someone worth listening to. You must have your deeds ensure that your name comes with some honor and some pride and some glory attached to it. You made a good start yesterday. You were very brave in the face of that troll.
I am. I was. I have courage. I have. Hey! And he turns to like one random crew member. He says, "Hey, will you get me some food?" And the crew member just sort of looks at him. Sure. And like goes and like starts putting a plate together for him. And he sits down happily, like looking at him. That's a good start, don't you think?
It is. I would always advise that when speaking to an armed person, one should remember their please and thank you. And I'm saying this with a smile, like I'm not reprimanding him. But these are things that we learn with time and with experience. It was a good start. Are you leaning towards a life of heroism and adventure?
Well, of course. My mother wants me to join the church, but I would rather travel the world and help people. I think that would accomplish the same thing she wants from me joining the church.
And what things are those, young man?
Take care of people, help them, make sure that any danger around them goes away, and that they are free and happy.
Well, there are many ways to accomplish this, some of them more dangerous, but more exciting. But you must find your own path to walk in the world, based on what you enjoy, what you are good at, and how you can do the most good to the people around you.
If we kill that monster, I can just make my way right to being a hero. I don't have to do anything else. And like he kind of leans in and says it as though he's being like telling you a conspiracy or something like that.
Well, slaying one monster does not make someone a hero, but with your mother's blessing, if you acquit yourself well and your mother agrees, I would be happy to bring you back to the mead hall of my Jarl and introduce you to some more adventurers, let you get a taste of life beyond this island.
His eyes widen and he says, "Is my mother's approval really that necessary?"
Åsbjorn stops and thinks for a moment. And he says, "Your mother is unique in your life. You will only ever have one. And she will always be there for you, and she will always care about you. I have not known my own mother since I was 3-4 years old, and it is one of the few things I would change about my life if I could. But something that you will learn early on the road to wisdom is that some bridges are never worth burning, because you will want to go back and cross them again in future."
He kind of looks at you, all of these wise words that you're saying flowing completely past him and out of like from besides his ears, not going inside at all. And he says, "I understand. I do. But I came here today," and like at this point the crew member gives him like a small bit or like a little bit to eat, and he's distracted for a second and he starts eating and he says, "Right, I came here today to say I am your tour guide for the island. Anywhere you want to go, you can, and I will take you there."
Magnificent. This, he's gonna gesture across the fire. This is my friend Froda. He is knowledgeable in the ancient languages that adorn the rune stones of the island. He will be coming with us. And, well, if you ask him nicely, he can even tell you tales of heroes who fought giants and won.
He looks excited. He looks at Froda excited, and he says, "Will you tell me tales? I mean, I have a gift for both of you if you want it."
I would be most honored with your gift.
Let's collect some eggs, and then I'll show you my gift, and then we can go everywhere else. I have to collect the eggs. That's why my mom sent me out in the first place.
Of course, we will accompany you, and we will kill two eggs with one stone, and we will take the eggs, and you can give us a tour of every runestone that you know of, and I bet you know of more runestones than anybody else on this island.
You bet I do. And he gets up excitedly and starts rushing out from the ship. So when you follow him, I would say that the first one that you would come across is the one that you saw in the morning. I would move the map back to the Hermit's Island and show you that. I'm just gonna hide away everything else so that the focus is on that. So the monster's gone and this guy is gone. What else? Yeah. So this is the stone is the only thing you see, right? Along with the map, of course.
Yep. Just while I remember, I'm gonna grab an extra spear from the hold of my ship. When Edgar gives me whatever gift he's got in mind, I'm gonna gift him a spear in return and help him on his road to becoming an adventurer.
Okay. So as you see here, as you're walking down the road, eventually you come across that path where you went to earlier from the beach. Between the Hermit's Hall and the ruins that you saw is a standing stone. So you see Frodo approach it and look at it. It's a large standing stone, and the carvings show what appears to be a horned figure gripping itself. And there are smaller figures surrounding it. And they seem to be doing some sort of a battle ritual. The smaller figures, their swords appear to be broken, their spears appear to be broken. And it seems that nothing is, they are losing the battle. So you see Frodo say, "This is Ogam. This is a language of the ancients."
Yep.
It says that great heroes have fought this giant, but they've been defeated because they can't pierce its hide by iron. I am not sure what material would be effective, but iron is not. I suspect you knew that already since you've seen them, but I'm guessing the more stones we see, the more answers we'll have.
I hope so. There was certainly a effectiveness of some iron in the presence of the symbol last night. And, well, hopefully this will give us a path to victory.
As you say that, you see that Edgar has been listening to everything, and he says, "Oh, there are many. But before that, do you want to explore the ruins? A lot of people like to see them, since you want to get familiar with the island."
Of course. You are the tour guide. Lead the way, my friend.
So he leads the way, and you see that Frodo comments that this seems to be of a very long time ago, this building. And this is a primarily on the map, you would see that these are the ruins. This is where you are right now. This is where the stone was, and so you're coming back to the ruins. On the map, above the map, you would see a little picture. So that's what the ruins look like. You see that you're being led into this part, and you see that this is where the walls have bricks missing, because you know that Fritka had taken bricks from this part of the ruins before. They are all made of huge stone blocks set in place with many smaller blocks, and they had like thick walls with a staircase running across. There is only one entrance to this room, and then there's one entrance to this room. They don't have like an entrance between them. So when you go in here, you see that the lintel remains intact, and the doorway kind of leads into this giant circular building, and there's no sign of any activity here. It seems like the other smaller circular building had more activity and things around that showed that people were there. Here, if you talk, like Edgar starts climbing to the top of the staircase, and if you do as well, you would see around the island, kind of in a. There are these. There's a good view to be had, particularly of the standing stones that are about here on the map. These standing stones. Nice. So he points there and he says, those would show some good. I mean, if you're looking for something there, probably the stones there would have some carvings. And so he does that. It looks like, this place is basically abandoned. But this outer area is one where the bricks are being taken apart bit by bit.
And I remember right from last week, some of the bricks that have been taken had Ogham carvings on them.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, I'm going to ask Frodo to translate and ask if they offer any kind of innate protection to the building or any information about the enemy we're facing.
Make a history check.
Beautiful. Is this for Frodo or myself?
Frodo.
Frodo, beautiful. Clicky clack. 14.
14. So as he is looking around along with you all, he's taking his time on the stones, and he says, there seems to be some sort of scripture written here that holds something back. And since some of these bricks are missing, that scripture isn't complete. I don't know what it was holding back, but something. These stones should not have been pulled out of here.
Do you think if we were to return these stones with runes on, then whatever magics they brought forth would be restored?
Probably. I don't know. But there is some kind of ancient prayer or magic or spell over here that would get restored if everything is back in its place.
Okay, that is certainly a way to ensure this place is safe once we leave. And I'm gonna turn to Edgar. You know the people here better than I. If we are to restore these stones, do you think we could convince people to move into this building? Where they would be safe?
Probably. I mean, we would have to build it a bit, but it's a really nice building. Pritka says, though, that sometimes he has a funny feeling when he's alone in this place.
Oh, what kind of funny feeling? A good feeling? Bad feeling?
And like Edgar kind of is thinking for a second and like starts looking, hey, and he like points to one of the stones on the walls and he says, um, isn't that, doesn't that have the same symbol that the little thing that Elfnotheld had? And when you turn to look, it's got that serpent design that the amulet had. I'm just going to put the amulet up as well so we can all see it. So some of the bricks here have this design on them.
Alright.
Frodo says, probably we need to restore these bricks.
Okay, if we look to restore the bricks, and with this being with the nature of this place, I imagine there would be some measure of parchment and charcoal. I have some skill as a smith and some tools on my ship. I might be able to make replicas of this design, enough to keep everyone safe.
So Frodo says, no, this is an Ogum. You can replicate it, but the meaning of this, all of this is lost without. I mean, you can replicate it, but the little spell that they cast, you can't replicate that. You can only restore it to what it was.
Okay. Well, we should check in with the builder on our way to the next runestones and get him to restoring the wall as soon as possible.
You see Edgar kind of nod seriously, like he's part of the, like he will talk to Fritkar himself. And he starts heading out towards the exit of the ruin. So next, you want to go to the standing stones here?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yes. So then before we get there, I think we can take a small break for now and
Sounds
then
good.
come back in like 10 minutes.
Beautiful.
Are we on a break?
I don't know.
Have we taken the break? I don't know.
Alright, YouTube, you say? Beautiful, thank you. again. Welcome back. Hope you've had a nice brew and a biscuit and a cheeky wee. We are back for some more Beowulf, exploring this island, looking at some ancient runes on some mystic stones, and hopefully finding a way to take on this troll beyond yeeting chickens at its face and hoping it dies from overeating. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. So you take a walk from the ruins to the standing stones. Now, the standing stones, there's these, like across the ruins, you see the scattering of ancient standing stones. As you're walking towards it, Frode says it's probably even predating the Hermit sanctuary. It probably is like hundreds of years old. And they're very easy to spot in daylight. It would have been difficult if you were looking for them at night. And it's easy to spot, and you can easily walk between the stones. You've already seen one earlier, which shows like warriors breaking their weapons on the hide of the monster. And now you are able to see a few of these. There are quite a few standing stones here. And most of them do, like, they indicate a place or they indicate something of the ancients. And Frode gets to work sort of like looking through everything. I'm just putting up a picture. So this is one of the standing stones. So all of them have carvings, but not everything is relevant, I would say, to what is necessary for the story. And so you've seen, you walk around and you see these stones. On one of the stones, there's a story of, and I'm just going to tell you because Frode already rolled to read. On one of these stones, there's a story of an ancient hero subduing the monster with the light of an amulet. This amulet sort of looks similar to what you've seen, a very crude drawing of what you've already seen in the hands of Elfnoth. And this particular stone is broken off. It's cut into half. You can see that drawing, and you can see that it has this distinctive angular shape, which is like cut into the shape of sort of a headstone of people who are buried in the graveyard. So this stone is not complete, but like you see that drawing there. Then you see another drawing of a monster that looks remarkably like the one that you saw last night, asleep or dead, not easily decipherable, in a cave under the island. And there's a tower being built above the cave. And you remember the ruins as the tower that matches that. And then there are various stones around the island. Like there's a drawing of like these serpent's cross symbol that you saw on the amulet. And you see like stones spread out within this one. In the drawing, stones spread out with that particular crest, like the serpent's crest. A serpent's cross, sorry. And so you see these in the standing stones around you. And Edgar listens closely to what Frode says, because he is curious about what these stones mean. And he says, I have always seen these stones, but I didn't know they meant all of these things. Like they actually have a meaning to them. I thought someone just drew really well, and so they let him draw everywhere. And
there is...
Go ahead.
There is often hidden meaning in the world. One of the reasons why we travel with friends and allies is because different eyes will see different things in looking at the same picture. And it is important to surround yourself with a variety of minds and eyes to help you.
He sort of nods as if he like completely understands what you're saying. And you see that he says, okay, before we do anything else, let's go to the cliffs. And he is making his way to, so the Hermit's sanctuary is to the north. The Hermit sanctuary is, the standing stones are to the west. So he's making his way to the east towards the Hermit sanctuary. And you can see that here there are all these cliffs like surrounding the island. But when you start moving closer to the east, you realize that the cliffs are much shorter than what you've seen earlier. If the others were quite long, but here it seems to be they are not more than 60 feet high. And you can easily make your way down and go to the beach. But that's not what Edgar is doing. He is slowly kind of making his way along the cliffs and looking for the nests of seabirds and starting to like pick up eggs. You can feel the stench of guano and this racket of all these birds, especially seabirds at this time. And you see, the more that you guys spend time here, the more the seabirds seem to feel like start circling around. It seems more like they're monitoring you almost. And Edgar says, yeah, maybe it's because there's three of us, but I only ever come here a month or two before the season to collect the eggs. And he puts all the eggs and everything together, and then he starts climbing down, expecting you all to follow. And as he climbs down, he sees these. Basically, you see like the path down is quite easy. It's like it seems well traveled. It seems like people actually come here and spend some time down there at the beach. And there, when he gets down there, he sees he starts like snapping his fingers and like looking around and like calling to something. And slowly you see a little black furred dog start walking in front. Like it looks like a complete like mutt. It's like kind of big, but it doesn't look very clean, I would say, but looks healthy. And it starts walking gently towards Edgar, but it sees the two of you and gets a little scared and stands in place. Edgar turns to you and says, "That's the gift."
This fine hound?
Yes. It's a little misplaced in the island. Doesn't have the food that it needs, doesn't have the company that it needs. I don't know. Maybe you can give it some company?
Yes, if it would like to be my friend, I would like that very much. And I'm just going to crouch down to make myself seem a bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I take some food from my pack, just a bit of dried meat, I think, probably, and just kind of throw it on the beach between myself and the dog, and just make no move towards it, and just kind of let it get the scent of us, decide if we're safe, and decide if it wants that food.
Make an animal handling check.
Beautiful.
You can use your inspiration. You can basically also use your potent if you want.
I was really tempted to go, I shall name this venturesome hound Blossom, but that feels pretty cheesy in terms of way of working it in. We've got to use my inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got. Sorry, where's Alberg on dice?
And
2d20.
again, since you're rolling with advantage, one is church and one is always.
Alright, so let's go with church, 13, and old ways, 2. Jesus is calling me. So yeah, 13 plus 5 would be 18 total.
18. So, like, it takes a bit, but it kind of gingerly starts walking ahead, sniffs, and starts to eat the little, like, eat the food, but keeps its eyes on you slightly, and slowly starts making its way towards you, starts sniffing you out in case you have more of that food, dried meat. So yeah, it is now kind of friendly, like inquisitive and friendly.
Nice. I'm gonna just while we're on the beach, I'm just gonna get a bit of seawater, give it a bit more food, and take my comb from my pack and just start brushing its fur out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just like very kindly and very gently, but just look.
As it's eating, you sort of brush it out.
Yeah, and look, grooming. That's something you do when you're in the same pack, right? Hey.
Like giving it a hint. I'd
Yeah.
say like it is pretty receptive to what you're saying as long as you keep feeding it dried meat, and it looks ready to kind of follow you around the island for the day.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna keep feeding it and just make sure I'm kind of being gentle around it, not doing anything to startle it. And I'm gonna turn to Edgar. Take the. I'm going to keep the second spear for myself. Take the main spear that I've been using. And I'm going to say, one gift deserves another, young man. If you wish to be a hero requires a mighty weapon. This spear was used when I very first distinguished myself to my lord, and it was used to drive off a brown one that was attacking a young boy. It has already saved one life. I will leave it up to you to make sure it saves more in future.
Edgar sort of takes the spear reverently and like looks at it like wow, and he kind of starts spinning it around to a point where it's like a danger to everybody. And he sort of stops himself and he says, "I can't. Oh, my mom won't like this, but I can't wait to show it to her." And he starts like using it as a walking stick instead and starts moving ahead. Where do you want to go next? So Edgar tells you that there's quite a few places. You can go to the northern cliffs. Basically you can explore all the cliffs. You can go down to the beach.
Before I decide on going down to the beach, I am going to use my feet, which my natural communion. No, not natural communion. Oh, it is natural communion. It's the second part of it. I'm going to spend 10 minutes communing with the local spirits, and that will allow me to ask you 3 questions, each of which can be answered yes, no, influx, or unknowable.
Okay.
So as I'm praying to as I'm communing with the local spirits, praying to Tyr, remembering what Rurik taught me of the old ways and the true ways, I'm going to ask them, firstly, if I were to take an amulet into the cave where the troll sleeps, would I be able to slay it?
What are the options? Yes, no?
Yes, no, sorry, I've tapped away. Yes, no, uncertain, or how should I know, mate? I'm a local spirit, that's not within my remit.
Okay. Yes.
Alright, beautiful. 2 more questions. That was all I really wanted to know. I'm gonna ask when we slay this monster, will the hermit and his companions be safe in their hermitage?
Yes.
Yes. Well, and I'm going to ask, is there any more that I need to learn of this island before I'm equipped to take on this monster?
Yes.
Beautiful. I'm going to thank them. Last prayer to Tyr to thank him for his guidance. And then, relay what the spirits have taught me to Froda and Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm going to say to Edgar, there is more I need to learn of the monster in the island before we are fit to slay this monster.
You
Where
need
do
to
you
know where
think?
it is, right? Edgar says.
Yes, I would assume the cave would be on one of the beaches, so there would be a tour of the beaches to find it, I think. But perhaps there is more to learn from the standing stones, or the graveyard I have heard about but not seen.
Froda speaks up and he says, "You need to remember the building, the ruin, was built above where the monsters slept, according to one of the stones."
So the cave would be most likely near where the ship is beached.
Yes, probably.
Okay. Well, we can tour any remaining stones, ensure the building is underway, gather our swords and the amulets, and go and write our names into history.
He looks at you. If you feel prepared.
Well, let us see what the remaining standing stones have to say. And Edgar, you are the resident expert of the island. If there is anything you feel it is worth showing us, or that you would like us to see, I am yours to command.
I would say that Edgar kind of thinks for a bit. He's like feeling, you see him sort of getting excited. And I'd say he says, "I think we should just go for it. I can't think of anything else."
Okay, if that is your wisdom, I will heed the advice that I asked for. First, we should see how the building is going, and make sure everything is proceeding as planned, and then pick up as many allies as we can from the Hermitage.
I'm an ally. And he swings his spear again, like dangerously close to your face.
I think there is perhaps a little more training that you could benefit from before facing a troll, but while we're at the Hermitage, we will see. Let us see how your mother would feel about you accompanying us to the troll cave.
All right. So you are going there with Edgar and Frodo.
Yep. Believe the rest of my crew should be there. And Edgar ran off to give the builder a heads up to start getting that ruin wall rebuilt.
The builder is at the sanctuary. So all of you are heading there?
Yep.
Okay. I would say that we have Halfdan here. Can you position Halfdan, Hala, and yourself? Only Halfdan and Hala. Can you position them?
Halfdan and Hala, of course. Actually, they've got an amulet each, haven't they? I'm gonna have Hala keeping watch on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
This one over here.
Yeah. So I would say that you kind of reach down here with Edgar, and I'll just put up Olaf and Frode. Not Olaf.
My Olaf, you have grown since I last saw you.
So as Frode. Yes. So yeah. And so Frode is with you, but Olaf is inside.
Correct. Yep.
Say Olaf is here. The Hermit will be here. And so as you enter, you see that the half-done who was supposed to be stationed here isn't here. He's inside. You see him in through the open doorway. And you see these two like warrior looking people standing about. Aftan and Hala are talking to them. And Elfnoth has like his head completely bowed at this point. And Olaf is as far away from all of this as possible. I'd say there are 3 people rather than 2. And yeah, you enter and they take a little, they jerk a little in alertness, and they look to Cairo, who says, no, they are part of, they just been out this day. They are part of us, our sanctuary. And the moment here is very tense. And you walk into this scene. What do you say?
Does anybody have their weapons drawn?
They have their weapons, and they are like out and about. Like everybody can see them, but they're not attacking anyone.
All right. I'm going to immediately. I'm going to immediately draw my axe and strap my shield on and say, "What is going on here? I do not recall having met you before. I am Åsbjorn."
They 3 of them like look between each other and look to you. We are here for all these relics that have been coming out of this place. They seem to be quite valuable, and we've had enough of seeing them pass by us. They are ours now. And you see Egbert sort of hurriedly bringing over a bag full of items to give it to these people. And Halfdan, I'd say, will say, wait, don't do that yet. And Egbert holds his hands up to Halfdan. Take this, please, go. Leave us alone. Do you add anything? They kind of take...
Yes, I'm gonna say, if it is valuable relics you are after, perhaps I could offer you something more valuable than everything else combined in return for you leaving the hermit his possessions. And with my shield arm, I'm gonna untie the amber amulet from my rune of Tiwaz. I walk over to... Does any of these 3 look bigger or scarier than the rest?
The first one, SR1.
Alright, beautiful. I'm going to walk over to him with the amulet proffered in my shield hand. And when his eyes are completely fixed upon it, and it's got his full attention, I'm going to hit him as hard as possible in the face with my axe.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Alright, beautiful. Ah, that was nearly a 17. Character sheet, please have a high modifier. Where's my attack gone? So that's a 15 total.
That hits, yeah.
Beautiful, and that'll be a d8 of slashing. You an 8. That's a 4 damage.
4 damage, okay. Roll initiative.
Beautiful.
1 second.
No worries.
You, how much did you get?
It's 4 damage.
No, your
Initiative, sorry, 15.
15. Hala?
Hala. 19? Always liked Hala. Good laughs.
Half done.
And half done will be 6.
Okay, so it's now time to roll for them. That's 9, 9, and 11. Their initiative is 0, so 9, 9, and 11.
Beautiful.
Okay, so Hala goes first. And then you.
Alright, beautiful. She is going to come and engage this person here.
Right.
For a
I see you're here, so she has advantage on her.
Beautiful. Attack. Go on, Hala. I can't tell whether left is a 17 or a 7. I think that's a 17. Beautiful. So yeah, that's a 17 for a... If that hits, that would be a flat d6. For 3 damage to SR1.
3 damage, okay. Okay, so he looks a little weak. What about your turn? Again, beautiful. You have advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to attack the same guy and try and take him down. 16.
16 hits.
Beautiful. D8. Three damage.
Just got him. Almost got him. Okay, it is now their turn in a line. So this guy looks very weak. So SR3 is going to attack you. And SR1 is going to attack you as well. And so is SR2. Yeah, all of them are going to attack you. So beautiful. I will just roll 3d20s. It's a straight roll. So that's 3, 10, and 12. So SR1 is not able to attack you because he's very weak. So that is a 14 and a 16 to hit.
Beautiful. They both miss.
They both miss. Okay. So they both try to hit you and they miss. That's Halfdan's turn.
Beautiful. Half done. There's not a lot of room for him. I think he's going to come around here and yeah, poke at SR3 with his mighty spear.
That one.
Very ineffective poking with his spear.
Yeah. He was like, Edgar, look at this. Oh wait.
His yeah, to be fair, he's standing on a bed. It's not great for him to try and hit someone. Okay,
and that's his turn, Hala.
Beautiful. Hala, try and finish this guy off. Oh, sorry, that should have been with advantage. 7 or... that's a 10?
10 doesn't hit, no.
Beautiful. And then around to Åsbjorn?
Yeah.
Yep, cracking. So yep, SR1 with advantage. Oh, that's a 9. That's not going to hit either.
9 don't hit. Wow, this guy's lucky. All right. Again, 3 D20s against you. It's the same 9, 9, and 19. So that is 13, 13, and 23.
The last one will hit.
23 hits. So I'll say it's SR1 who's able to hit. And he pulls up his javelin and tries to pierce you against the chest. And that will be a D6. Yeah. 5 points of piercing damage.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So he manages to hit you. He's happy. He got 1. Half done.
Half done is yeah, he's gonna try the same thing again. Just double checking his character.
Meanwhile, these guys are just going to run away. They're going to run and hide as much as they can. Frithka is going to come forward, actually. Olaf is going to hide. Elfnoth is like hiding as well. Edgar, Kero has a death grip on Edgar, so he's not going anywhere. He's out. Frode is as well going to step aside. Yeah. Unless you want them to do something else.
No, no, they're not really here to fight. I'm happy for them to stay
12
somewhere
from
safe.
Mahala?
12 from half done on SR3.
No, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a good job he's pretty.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'm
What's up?
gonna roll for Frithka. 15. He's gonna go after you. That's Hala's turn now.
Beautiful. Come on, Hala, finish him off. Terrible rolls.
What is happening? This guy's like surviving. It's your turn.
Alright, yeah, same again. We found a point in his armor that's really satisfying to hit and are just wailing on that metal without harming him in the slightest.
Okay, Frithka manages to hit SR3. How much damage does a simple warrior do?
D6.
D6, okay. That's a 4 against SR3.
Nice.
So that's nice. 1 second.
Nice.
Okay, so now it's their turn. SR3 has a new target, so he's going to try to attack Frithgar, which I would say he doesn't manage to with a 6 and a 4 with a 10. Armor class is more than that, right, for a simple warrior?
Oh, I would need to double check that. I'm not sure. I didn't actually write that down very foolishly.
Let's say 10 doesn't hit him. That's all
beautiful.
right. And then the other two, SR1 and SR2, are against you. That is an 18 and a 15 to hit.
Neither will hit. AC is 19.
19. Okay, so nobody's hitting anybody this round. Half done. He's trying. Half done is trying. He sees Edgar is out of the room.
Yeah, go on, half done. One more try of this, and then we might see if you fancy a life of being a bard or something. 5. Nope.
All
Just
right.
swinging wildly.
Back to Hala.
All right. Yeah, go on. Regular attack.
What is
Just.
happening? Okay, your turn.
All right.
SR1, the leader of this pack, just has 1 hit point, by the way, and he's had 1 hit point for the past 2 rounds.
I think with my axing him not being very effective, I'm going to try and just manhandle him and grapple him into that fire right next to us, and just
Okay.
bodily heave him. I might have been watching too much WWE recently, but alright, you know what, I'm not gonna hit reroll. Oh, I've been forgetting to do this. Still pick a old dice and a church dice
Yeah.
with attack
with
rolls, or is that
advantage.
just abilities? Alright, so old ways, come on.
Anytime you roll with advantage.
15 on church, be less than 15. Yes, beautiful. Alright,
I'd say he's gone. All right. You push him
Beautiful.
into the fire, he burns, and he's gone. I'll keep him there, just
Yeah.
for reference. And the other two now get to make a wisdom saving throw to see if they want to continue fighting or do they want to run away. They both want to run away. As you do that, and you push him down, you push their leader down into the fire. The other two look between themselves, see how useless they've been trying to hit you and the others, and they're going to say, all right, we don't need anything, we can get out of here, just let us leave.
Drop your weapons first.
They drop their weapons. You see they drop a javelin, they have a spear at the back, they drop that as well.
Beautiful. I'm not letting them leave. I just wanted to disarm them before I take them out.
Nice. Okay, so we'll, for expediency's sake, because we're not hitting today, we'll say
I'll be here a while.
it takes a bit, but like the two of them are dead. The hermit does not appreciate the murder because he says they were ready to go. Why did you have to?
They were ready to seek another target that was less well defended. They would have still spent the rest of their lives despoiling your holy places, stealing from people like you, and preying on the defenseless. Tell me, what have their future victims done to me that I should wrong them so?
The hermit listens to you and he says, when people ask for mercy, we should give them mercy.
Some people, when they ask for mercy, are simply saying, allow me to commit crimes against someone who isn't you. That is not justice.
You and I have different ideas about justice then.
We do. But I would humbly remind you that it is my idea of justice that has kept the people in this area safe from those who would prey on them.
He sees the slain bodies in front of him and he says, I would like to keep Elf North here.
It is you who he has committed crimes against. I will not steal him without your permission. But I will let my Jarl know everything that has happened here, and leave any further action his decision.
Egbert sort of sighs and nods because he can't really do anything about that. As you do this, Cairo kind of enters the house and Edgar follows and he's talking about the spear and Cairo gives you like this mean look and then continues to pull him inside. Sorry, not... he starts to clean up, I would say. And Frithga as well starts to clean up after everybody. So this will be about the second night that you spend here. Do you spend it here? Do you spend it at your boat? Do you leave someone here to guard it?
I'm gonna get everyone from my crew Yeah, I'm gonna get everyone from my crew to stay here at the Hermitage, and we are gonna take shifts watching the door, guarding the perimeter with the amulets.
Hmm.
Um, sorry,
You hear the screams of the monster from nearby, but you don't see it. But all night long, you hear it screaming, devoid of a meal for that day.
nice. Just before Egbert gives these raiders an undeserved Christian burial, would I be able to check them over to see if they have any ill-gotten gains that they've accumulated on their way here?
So they have like, so they basically, I would say they don't have much because they came here to get it, and Egbert was giving them the bag and everything. On their person, they don't have much, but they do have a ship somewhere on this island.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Alright, beautiful. I will make a note to look that before I leave. And yeah, assuming the Hermitage is safe for the night, I would try and make sure everyone gets the best night possible, with the intention of going and trying to find that troll first night once it goes to sleep. First light, sorry. Trying to find the troll's cave at first light once it goes to sleep.
I would say make a survival check.
Alright, roll. Hey, where was that when I was fighting for my life? Dice. Survival, that's an 18.
18. You know that the place is somewhere below the old ruins, so you make your way to the beach and where your ship is, and you walk down the path close to where the ruins are. Do you, by the way, get Fridgar on the job of moving the...
Yeah, as quickly as possible. I'm also going to volunteer Olaf to help him, because he's not going to be coming with us to fight the troll. And I'm going to suggest to Edgar that helping carry the biggest stones he can lift would be a good way of building up his strength.
I think he would listen because he's kind of acting like he's not scared of the troll, but he is. You can read that in him. And I'd say that you managed to go towards you convince Fridgar to replace the stones back, and that's something he decides to do that day, armed with as many people and as many artifacts as he can. And you know that one thing I'd say, the monster's name is Magbona by reading the stones. And what kind of preparations are you making before you leave for the monster?
Making sure that I've got one of those amulets with me, to make it susceptible
There's only the one.
to weapons. Oh, there's
So you're not sure, there are a lot of artifacts, but there's that one Serpent's Cross amulet. You are not sure if the other artifacts are working against the monster or not.
Alright, is there anything... Sorry, I'm just checking my notes I've been making to see if there is... I've got blacksmith's tools and some proficiency. I'm gonna get Froda's opinion on whether it would be worth as these stones are being rebuilt, whether it would be worth replicating the crossed serpent emblem on my axe and on any weapons that we're taking. I appreciate it might take a while, but if it would make them more effective against the troll, it would seem like a good use of time.
Roll a d20 for Frodo.
Beautiful. Is this a history check?
No, it's just a regular.
No, just a regular. Beautiful. Oh, go on, Frodo. That's why you're here.
So he basically tries to look at the serpent cross amulet and looks at you and he says, would you be able to match these intricacies? They're written in Ogam. And I don't know if you would be able to bring something on this, the magic, the belief, all of that onto the weapons.
Right. In that case, I'm gonna take the serpent cross amulet, and I'm gonna make sure that Frithgar, as soon as it starts to get dark, I'm gonna make sure Frithgar does everything possible to rebuild the wall before nightfall, in case we don't succeed, and that as soon as it starts to get dark, he is going to get everybody inside the hopefully rebuilt sanctuary to the south of the island.
So, like, as you're doing that, you notice that everybody is taking their not taking their chances with the monster, and they are like barricading the doors and with barrels and benches and stuff like that of the hermit building. Like, everybody's gathered in there and they're barricading all the entrances.
Alright, I'm going to privately have some reservations about how effective that will be against a thing that can tear down stone walls, but I don't want to panic them. So I'm going to suggest that they get the sanctuary to the south rebuilt and spend the night in there. But if they would prefer to barricade these doors, then I'm going to hope twice as hard that I succeed with the troll before nightfall.
You made a 18 on survival, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say that you basically go down the ruins and come across let me open that scene.
Oh, just before we do, sorry, I've just thought of a thing. I am going to get some of my crew, not warriors or followers, but crew, to have a look for the raider's ship. I'm going to instruct them to strip the banner that I am going to take home as a trophy, and to strip the ship of any valuable timbers that might be useful to us in case we get shipwrecked or stolen somewhere, might be useful to the Hermitage in their rebuilding, and I think that will fulfill the follower part of the portent.
Yeah. So you can use that inspiration for your followers.
Beautiful.
Another thing is that there was another ship which when you walk along the beach, you finally find another ship, the ship that the provisioner said he would have escaped from, the ship that the monk came from. You see that it's been broken into pieces by a monstrous force, and slowly you make your way until you find the opening of the cave right here, and
Beautiful.
You have found the lair of Mudpona.
Alright, beautiful. I'm going to strap my shield on, get my axe out, give my followers an encouraging nod, and quietly try to move through. I appreciate it will be quite dark in there, but I'm going to try and avoid lighting a torch if I can. I'm assuming it will be sleeping during the day, and I'd very much like us to get the jump on it if we can.
Yeah. This is night now. This is night. We have kind of what can I say? Like, through the events of the day, you went to all these different places, and then you came back in the evening, you fought the raiders, you had that, and you made all these preparations, and now it's night. So
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was looking to because I lost some hit points in that battle, so I was looking to try and long rest tonight.
Okay.
I thought that was because we heard the monsters screaming all night. The night after the
No, I thought
raiders
like
died.
we were still at night, but yeah, the monster was screaming. So then we'll say, yeah, you took your long rest and everybody is working to barricade themselves. Do you go in the morning?
Yep. As soon as the noises stop and the sun is out, I'm gonna go and try and catch it sleeping.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we'll do that next week because I think the time is up. But yeah, take us out.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for running. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for making the stream happen, Kumi. That was also excellent. Thank me for doing the outro because I'm doing the outro. And thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back next week. Something, somewhere, of some shape is going to die in a horrible grisly fashion, or alternatively, we'll spend 3 hours rolling twos at each other. Either way, it's going to be exciting. Come and check it out. See you then.
Thanks, everyone.